Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to today's Tasty Tuesday, where we will be making corn tortillas, homemade corn tortillas. I hope everyone's Tuesday is going well so far. I think I figured out a good setup for today, so hopefully everything is nice and visible for today. And today's voting day, by the way. It's primary day, so I hope everyone has mailed in their ballots, or I think there are a few polling stations open, so hopefully everyone has gone to do that. If not, this is a good reminder. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. Doesn't matter how you vote, as long as you do. Okay, so corn tortillas. What do we need for today, / what do we need to know about for today? So first of all, the tortillas that we are making does not involve the nixtamalization process. So we're not making the tortillas from fresh corn, just because we would have to go through that process, which is a lime solution where the corn is placed, and it rids the corn of certain, I think, fibers and certain toxins as well, which is why tortillas are such a good food, right? Because it goes through this nixtamalization process, so it definitely makes it easier for our digestion. We will not be doing that. So we're not making the corn tortillas from fresh corn. Rather, we are making the tortillas from a corn flour. So this is called maseca. If you come from a Latin American family or have any Latin American friends, you might be very familiar with this brand. This is what the bag looks like. This is the most common brand. I think there are quite a few others, but this is just the one that I'm familiar with. So this is instant corn masa flour. It's good for tortillas, tamales, pupusas, atoles, empanadas, gorditas, sopes. So this is a staple in Latin American cooking. Ingredients, what we have in here is corn treated with hydrated lime, folic acid, so it's enriched, which is good. Folic acid is definitely important in the diet. So that's just to let you know what's in this. To make the corn tortillas, you will need a large Ziploc bag, right? Just for if it's the very first time. After you've made them, all you have to do is put away the little tool that you make with the Ziploc bag, and you won't need a Ziploc bag every time. So a Ziploc bag, I just chose an old one that I had that I'm reusing. What's nice about here is there are a bunch of recipes and instructions, both in English and in Spanish, and there's a yield chart. So 19 tortillas would be 2 cups, which is 2 cups of flour, and then 1.5 cups of water. We won't be making that much. I do not want to make 19 tortillas, so we'll be making half of that. So I'm using 1 cup of flour, and then approximately 3/4 cup of water. When I was making these before, I found that they did need a little bit more. So, yeah, vibe it out. You're going to, making tortillas, there's a huge learning curve to it. I'm by no means an expert in making tortillas. In fact, I had to seek out family members to help me out with making the tortillas, which I wonder if anyone is on. Let's see. I cannot see. Your user request to join. Huh. Interesting. Hello. Whoever said hello. Hello. So yes. Not a lot of ingredients. Once you have the corn flour, all you need is water and a nice bowl where you can mix and make your dough, and then you're ready. So this is from the last batch that I made, which looks like that. Some lovely tortillas. And for the dough, there's no really complicated step here. You just combine both. There's no particular order. And this isn't a dough where if you overwork it, the tortilla comes out too tough, at least to my knowledge. Seeing another comment. Oh, hello, Daryl. At least to my knowledge, tortilla dough, it's not like bread dough where if you overwork it, or even pastry dough, I think, where if you overwork it, your final product might come out a little tough. I find that is hardly ever the case with tortillas, because as you're making them, you'll see that sometimes they'll rip. Sometimes they'll rip, and you'll have to start all over again, right? So we are making our dough. And actually before that, we did skip a step. I'll show you how to make the, how to set up your tortilla workstation. I'll have to rinse my hands for that. But essentially you just, once this has come together and you've got something that feels like Play-Doh, a bit softer than Play-Doh. If it's too soft, which you'll know if it's too soft if it just kind of like melts in your hand, you want it to have a little bit of structure, right? And I really wish I could do this class in person just because it's very texture based. You really have to feel the dough to know how, what the right amount of water, moisture is for the dough. But anyway, that has come together. I think that's ready. So we'll let that be for a while. And again, this isn't a dough that you have to let rest or anything before you throw it onto the pan. I already have some pans heating on the burners, by the way. There are special tortilla pans that you can use. Cast iron pans are great. They work great for this. This is high heat cooking, so you are going to turn up your burner all the way, just because, as with any flatbread, the higher the heat, the more the flatbread will rise. So tortilla is considered a flatbread, so we want that nice rise. And when we get a rise in the tortilla, which is the steam being produced, right, a little layer of steam being produced between the layers of dough. When we get that, we get a nice kind of like flaky, one could say it's flakiness maybe. It's always a good thing to have that. We call that la cáscara, or the peel, right? And that's what we call it in my household. Let's see who else is on. Hey Kristen, welcome, making tortillas. Okay, so that is done. I think that's just about the right amount of water. For your workstation, just kind of like you would set up a cutting board, a plastic cutting board. Set down a couple of damp paper towels on your table, and then you'll want to cut a large plastic circle out of either a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag. If you just happen to have large reams of plastic, freehand it. I'll show you how I cut it from a large Ziploc bag. I'm not exactly sure what size. I think this is the gallon size. But for this, I would fold it in half, so bottom meets the top. And then I would fold it again, so the left meets the right. And then kind of like, if you guys remember how to make snowflakes, you would just, we're not making snowflakes here, it's not that complicated. You would just make a kind of cone shape, right? So you put your thumb on the corner, not on the outer corner, right? So that's very important. You want it on the corner where all the folds happened. So in the innermost corner, right? So right where I folded, that's where I'm going to put my thumb. And then I will just kind of create a little semicircle around there. Try to get it as large as possible. Again, your tortillas are not going to be as large as this little template that you make, but it is better to have a bigger plastic round than a smaller one where you're just running out of space. And boom, you've got two, right? So if one mysteriously disappears, you've got another. Okay, and these you can rinse off, obviously, because it's plastic, and you can reuse them over and over again. Okay, so now that that's made, I already have one here that's made. What I'm going to do is form little dough balls. And these you'll want to be, you can make them as large as you'd like. If you want smaller tortillas, you can make smaller tortillas. I make them about the size of my fist, or about the size of my palm rather, right? Just enough so that I can wrap my fingers. And then you just begin rolling. Just begin rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. then from here, once you have like a nice round ball, what you'll do is you'll start patting down. And I should mention you'll want to have a bowl of warm room temperature water nearby, just because if the dough starts to stick either on the mat or on your hands, water helps kind of release it. Obviously, if you put too much water, it'll stick right onto the plastic and it'll be so hard to release it from the plastic, so I wouldn't recommend using too much water. Okay, so now we've got a circular shape. From here, I will set it down right on my placemat, my little round placemat, and I'll guide my hand and begin from the inside to the outside and form my tortilla that way. You'll want to spin the tortilla. I was told that you'll sometimes want to go counterclockwise versus clockwise. I'm not sure if it really does make a difference, but if you guys try this out and find that counterclockwise or clockwise works better, then leave a comment. I'd be interested in hearing. Okay, so we are spinning our tortilla, working from the inside out. Let's see who else is on. Just to give a little shout out. Oh, my aunt is on. Hola, Tia Sol. She's actually the one who helped me make the tortillas, or gave me tips. Which these are all of the tips that I am bestowing upon everyone. So you've got the secrets. Got the good family secrets. Okay, so we are making our tortilla. And again, if you need to wet your hands a little bit, just to get the dough to flex a little bit and spread out a little bit more, then do so. But again, be mindful of not using too much, because that will cause the tortilla to stick too much onto the plastic. All right, so some people have preferences on how thin it is. I'm not a huge stickler on thinness. This is especially because I'm still pretty novice at this, and I'd recommend making them a little bit thicker until you're very comfortable getting them off of the plastic round. So here we have our tortilla. I'll just lift it up so you guys can see it. There it is. Now this is the important part, which I'll come over here to show you guys exactly how we're going to do this. So this is the important part, because this is called the face of the tortilla, la cara, right? That's what we call it. This is the part that you want to be face down on the pan. So in order to do that, you're gonna do a little hot potato game, right? So you're going to flip it on one side. And again, be mindful of peeling this off. You're going to want to go very gently, right? So we've got it on one hand. From here, I'll flip it onto my other hand, right? And this is why I say make them a little bit thicker until you're comfortable working with a thinner dough. And then we'll just gently throw it right on down. And there it is. All right. So this pan is nice and hot. We should get a nice rise. Your final product, and don't be afraid if the dough starts to rise and it blows up to like a pillow size. That means you did a good thing. If that happens, that means you did an absolutely good job of making your tortilla. So this is the final product. I'll show you guys. You've got some tortillas here. So I've prepared something to just go alongside the tortillas. Let's see, how long are we running? Are we good on time? I think we are. Okay, so we've got our warm tortillas. I've got some soy chorizo here, which I am just going to grab a spoon to top our tortilla. I think I've talked about this before, but this is a soy chorizo that Trader Joe's sells, which I think you can make your own if you buy soy curls and just season them with like chipotle and cumin and other good stuff, but I am an absolute fan of this stuff. It's amazing. I've got some greens here, right? So I think we have baby Swiss chard, some baby spinach, and some baby kale. So these are nice and delicate. I've got some tomato slices. I think I may just put one tomato actually, or maybe a smaller one. There we go. And then to top it all off, a bean salad. So this is red peppers. I did canned roasted red peppers with some onion, corn, a little bit of chipotle, black beans. So this is going to go right on top. If you should so desire, you can do a squeeze of lime, which is what I'm going to do. A little squeeze of lime. And then you're ready to eat your tortilla. And I'll warn you, it's a little bit messy. It's a little bit messy, but it's good stuff. Let's see how our tortilla is doing. Sorry, this video is taking a little long, but we will check on it. This is definitely, so someone commented, looks so fun to make with kids. For sure it is, and there's so few ingredients that you really can't go wrong. Cleanup is so easy. I think it's a nice, like, stress relieving activity. Okay, so I'm using a turner. The pros will not use the turner, they'll just use their hand. I'm not on that level, so I'm using a little spatula to do so. So let's see. I think this is ready to turn, so we shall flip it, yep. So the moment of truth is if you get your tortilla to rise. That's when you know it's really good. That's when you know it's an excellent tortilla. Oh my goodness, this pan is so hot, I'm beginning to sweat. So that's it. That's pretty much it with making tortillas. It's that easy. You can keep going. You can save the dough for a couple of days, although I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say just make what you need that day because it's so quick to make it, you know. It's so quick to throw together a tortilla. All right. So let's see if we can get this tortilla to rise. You have to flip it over one more time. So I was told that you do not want to flip your tortilla more than 3 times. 3 times should be the maximum amount of times that you're flipping your tortilla. More than that is just disrespectful. It will not rise for you. And then at this point, you should have like some nice sort of, not char marks. Next, flour tortilla. Oh, maybe we'll do flour tortillas next time. I think they're pretty easy. So you'll have some nice little, right where your hand sort of made contact with the tortilla. It's kind of like a fingerprint, which is pretty cool if you think about it. You'll see like some little coloration, right? A little bit of charring, which that's definitely a good thing. And you'll sort of see like a bit of separation too from like the upper layer, the upper peel and the bottom. I'm just waving to everyone that's on. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's flip this bad boy. I think it might be ready. It might be premature, but you know what? Like I said, there is a learning curve with tortillas. Ooh. So you definitely don't want these lines. It's not a big deal if it does happen, but that will prevent the rise from happening. It might still be edible. But anyway, that is it for today. I hope you guys try out the tortillas. Let me know if you do. Share a picture, share a comment, and take care. Bye.